Thank you so much, Laila, Minister, Director General, guests, speakers, colleagues, both here and online. Welcome. We are delighted to have the opportunity to host you all here today. On February 24th, the bombs started falling over Ukraine. 2 days later, on February 26th, our office in Kiev was hit by a missile. Luckily, without any employees being harmed. Step by step, we see the war in Ukraine moving closer to Norway as it has spread. From day one, we in Yara have felt strongly that we are part of this war, and there are two reasons for this. We have both Ukrainian and Russian employees, and we saw early on that food can be used as a weapon, and we raised our voices already in March. Because we believe that never before has food and energy been used more strategically and calculated as weapons in a war as what we see now. And it comes at a time when we know that every fourth second a person in this world dies from hunger. And if Europe does not pay attention and secure continued food and fertilizer production in our region, our dependency on Russia may very quickly shift from energy dependency to food dependency. But the invasion of Ukraine did not break the food system. It came on top of an already broken system needing to be repaired. The effects of climate change, cost increases, and COVID were already apparent. The food system accounts for approximately 1/3 of global CO2 emissions. It accounts for 70% of all freshwater use. We are experiencing massive biodiversity loss. 1 in 4 species are at risk of extinction. We see more and more extreme weather, such as floods and droughts, directly ruining harvests. The number of people going hungry to bed is surpassing 800 million, and the number of people facing acute hunger has doubled. So what have we in Yara done in this situation? We are a global leader in fertilizer production. And why is fertilizer important? Well, it's because we know that 50% of global food production depends on the use of fertilizer. And we know that the yield loss not using fertilizer can be as high as 50%. We also know that the European production of fertilizer has half the carbon footprint of Russian, with Chinese fertilizer having an even higher carbon footprint than the Russian. That's why it's been a key target for us to keep production running, because it's in our mission to responsibly feed the world and protect the planet. However, let's right now address the elephant in the room, namely profits. Because Yara, just like Norway as a nation, has been highly profitable throughout this crisis. We raised this dilemma already in March in an op-ed and in several interviews. We raised the dilemma that while food and fertilizer price increases may short-term lift Yara's profits, it's not the situation we want, and not the situation we believe benefits neither Yara nor Norway as a large energy supplier long-term. We raised the point that a world with surging food prices and limited supply is a world with more starvation, with more conflict, with migration, human tragedies, and lower global economic growth. That's why we must make sure we jointly, amongst private companies and public authorities, take the right steps to manage the crisis at the same time as we act responsibly with the profits we generate short-term. So let me start with the latter point. In Yara, we are investing heavily in our own production facilities to ensure they keep running, getting fertilizer out in a supply-restricted market. We have delivered more than 1,200 truck and train loads of fertilizers to Ukraine to support their harvest. We established Action Africa during COVID with a donation of 250 million Norwegian kroners in premium fertilizers, reaching 250,000 smallholder farmers with product and advice. We launched Grow Ghana during the war with approximately 250 million kroner again to give 1 bag of fertilizer for free to food-producing farmers in order to bring the price down, and so far we've donated approximately 100,000 bags of fertilizer, reaching 35,000 farmers. And we support Sustain Africa, putting together a consortium to support smallholders with USAID, Rabobank, and the Gates Foundation. And we continue to be vocal in the need for Norway as a nation to step up our international humanitarian and financial efforts in times which call for solidarity and sharing. A mission of solidarity and sharing I know the Minister strongly supports. In Yara's opinion, Norway can and should do even more. The world desperately needs to manage two incredibly intertwined and complex challenges: the short-term tackling of a food catastrophe and the long-term transformation for a zero-net future. And it is essential that we manage both, that the war in Ukraine doesn't destroy the efforts to decarbonize. We've therefore been quite vocal in our dialogue with governments, both here in Norway and EU, plus on global arenas such as the UN, on what's needed. Keep food and fertilizer trade flows going to secure supply and reduce hunger. Massive investments in renewable energy to accelerate the shift to green fertilizer, thereby also reducing the energy dependency on Russia. Avoid a situation where Europe's reduction of gas imports is coupled with an increasing acceptance of implicit gas imports through fertilizers, where gas is the main input factor in the production of fertilizer today. Instead, we must build regional and local resilience, supporting European industry. The opposite would simply mean closing European fertilizer industry, and by that accepting a future with Europe being largely food dependent on others, here under Russia. Never has food and fertilizer been higher on the world agenda, and never has the need to come together and find common ground and common solutions been stronger. We have a dream team of speakers and panelists here today. Over the past months, we've had the privilege of engaging in open discussions across, as example, both the UN General Assembly and our own leadership summit with the Minister of International Development. And it is with great pleasure I hereby yield the floor.